Hello there, I'm Matt, welcome to RogueLIKE. It's a series about roguelike games that I like. RogueLIKE, it's intonation, it's a joke, it's bad. Let's have a look at a game. Flamebreak, it's awful. No wait, it just looks awful. Is it awful? Let's find out. It's not. It's a twin stick shooty / point and clicky finger button game about getting across a map as quickly as you can, but that FTL style thing of you gotta get from here to here, but try and go as many places as you can along the way, otherwise you're just gonna have a bad time and die. Why the big hurry? Because you're being chased by the shadows, which as with FTL's fleet is just straight up bad. But there's some fun iterations on the theme here with a bit of a fantasy vibe. You've got looking glasses that let you see what's in certain bits of the map. Are there some shops I want to go to over there? Have I got time? When are the kids getting back? When's dinner? No, that's life. You've got other things here though. You can teleport across the map. Boom, 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 warp stones. And you've got fantasy dust that you can spread all over things and make new opportunities arrive. It's not a sex thing. Having these limited items that let you find new routes or make items appear in shops gives you a new kind of element of spice in terms of push your luck. Do you want to use this now or do you want to save it for when you really need it? And in Flamebreak, you've also got the nice implementation of armor sets. Yes, it's kind of an RPG thing. What did you expect? Get the helmet, get the armor, get the amulet, get the look. You're a babe. Woo! But of course the nice thing here is whilst you know how much money you've got currently, you don't know where the next shop's going to be. And should you just get this other armour instead? It's, should you spend the money or should you sit on the money and hope that the thing you want appears in a shop when it might not? So the sort of overworld game that gets you between battles and takes you from the start to the boss and wins you the game, that's kind of nice, even if it does look absolutely dreadful. What the hell is going on with these trees? Oh my god, look, games don't need to look nice to be good games, and that's why I'm here talking about Flamebreak, but god, it helps. It just helps, alright? Just make them look nice. But the core of Flamebreak is of course all about the fighting, and the fighting happens in these little arena-based maps where you move your character around and you cast all sorts of different abilities. And this is all a bit manic, a bit intense, a bit complicated. If you've ever played a MOBA, something like a Dota, then you'll have a feel for this sort of thing. It's just kind of too many things going on at once and you're frantically clicking and trying to remember where you are on the screen. And these weapons and skills aren't static. Each time you roll a new character, you get a new bunch of things, which means having to relearn what the buttons do. It's kind of a bit of a headache. But thankfully, after a couple of rounds, you start to get a feel for what the different moves do. And if you die, you can re-roll the same character again and say, look, I just got the hang of that when I died. Can I just try that again with this guy? So it's not too punishing. But the thing is, whilst initially it just seems a bit much and a bit ugly and a bit basic, once you get into the rhythm of Flamebreak, it's a really fun, quite well crafted little game. There are simple enemy tells that you can see, and whilst it's very much a game for somebody who still has a lot of their synapses functioning as they did when they were a child, if you can hack it, it's very rewarding. And after a couple of hours of playing, you're dancing around certain enemies in a very specific sort of way, and you're picking off other ones immediately because you know if you don't, they're going to ruin your day. And I just did some rhyming, didn't I? One thing I've got to say about this game, which I just despise, and this is just a personal taste thing, don't get me wrong, has so many bloody rhyming couplets, has all this bloody awful poetry that you can skip. Obviously, it's just cutscenes, you can just skip, but oh my god, there's so much of it.
And where his heart and spirit hides, your journey's end will be.
What the fuck is it with rhyming couplet-based poetry? It's so twee. I hate it, alright? I like poems, but I hate rhymes, alright? Sorry. Anyway, the game is good. I need to keep reminding myself it's a fun game because there's so much about it. It really drives me mad. Look, the combat is quite clearly inspired by Dota here. In fact, a lot of the stuff is inspired by Dota. Some of the items are clearly referenced. A lot of the skills are just ripped out of it, and that's fine. You know, as we've learned from League of Legends, Dotas, MOBAs, it's all just one big happy party. Everyone borrows each other's car keys. God, it's not a sex thing. And because it's very Dota-y, it means you've got to learn lots of things. It means there's an awful lot going on. It means it's the sort of game that you kind of felt would be a lot easier to play if you had 18 hands and 3 brains. But what I love about Flamebreak, and I do love it a little bit, don't get me wrong, is the fact that it draws its ideas and its feel from the same era as Dota. Obviously now Dota 2, new modern shiny thing, all the Valve production values, but where it came from being a Warcraft 3 mod. There's something about Flamebreak that just reminds me of that mod scene, right down to the kind of like mini game where you have to use a little pulley to grab goblins with gold. The little weird mini games. There's something ramshackle and fun about the whole of Flamebreak that just reminds me of the experimentation and weirdness of the Warcraft 3 mod scene, of just loading up a little mod and being like, what's this? Is it a mini game? Is it a little RPG adventure? What am I playing now? And purely for nostalgia, Flamebreak does remind me a lot of that era, a lot about that game, which is nice. But even without all of that kind of vague thematic nostalgia for the modding scene of a very old RTS game, it's fun, it's addictive, it's simple, and it's a reminder that, yeah, things don't need to look good to be good. It doesn't look good, but it is good. It's not very inventive, it's quite derivative, but it's good. And you know what I like about it most? Is it scratches that roguelike one more go, what do I get next time, how do I play with this setup? But it also lets me get a little bit of a feel for what it's like to be playing a game like Dota again. Obviously it's not up there with Valve in terms of production values, but it still scratches that itch. So yeah, if you're somebody like me who just likes playing things like Dota or League but finds it don't have the time to really invest into learning everything about it, and you want something a bit lighter, maybe something a bit roguelikey, Flamebreak, yeah, looks awful, actually is good. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more roguelike videos, you can go to coolghost.net. How do you do that? There's going to be a link in the description for this video if you're on YouTube. Click on that, it'll take you to the page. There'll be a thing on the page which will say, watch more roguelike videos, and it'll take you to another page. It's that simple, etc. And if you've really, really enjoyed this video, please remember that Cool Ghosts is Patreon funded, so you go to patreon.com/coolghosts. Thank you very much.